guys enjoy it? Yeah. I know it's kind of rough, but it's awesome. Thank you.
Influences. The hidden, yes?
That was one.
Right.
I basically just ripped off like 12 movies.
Yep.
Font and everything.
There's your gift. So tell us about the making of the film.
That's incredibly vague. I don't know. It was incredibly fucking cold. There was like 10 of us who made that, and it was a ton of fun. I don't know.
Are you pleased with the product?
50-50. I'm not pleased with the writing of it. I'm pleased with how I pulled off some of the set pieces, I guess. But the writing's really fucking rough. I'm glad you guys sat through that horrible first act. Thank you. I don't know. You're supposed to be moderating, Paul.
Oh, no. So why 9 minutes worth of credits?
For foreign sales purposes. It was either we cut 5 minutes from the movie and have it be 70 minutes with 9.5 minutes of credits, or we have 5 minutes of even worse footage than. So our first cut was like 76 minutes. So we had to we ended up, there was just shit that we could not keep in there. It was not good, and we got it down to like 70-30, and it's like, you know, our foreign sales company. We signed out a foreign sales company during post, and they're like, "This has got to be 80 minutes." I was like, "All right, well, we'll do a full moon style end credits crawl."
Because you showed it to us like 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yeah,
in a rough, really rough.
You saw like the assembly cut.
Really early cut, wasn't it? So from there, you just went and shot some more and added.
No, we didn't shoot anymore. We just added a 9-minute credit sequence.
Right.
And we did have sound mix and a score done and a color, a DI. We had a professional DI, a real sound mix, real 5.1. We literally spent like 25 grand to shoot it and then 25 grand to post it.
So did you totally finance it yourselves? Let me speak.
Yeah.
Josh.
At first, the initial investment was Joe and I. That was to get us on set and start shooting. And then,
we financed the whole shoot, and then we started cutting shit together to get the additional money to finish the movie.
Then had family and friends buy like 1% or 2% and slowly build it up, which was great. So it was just like grandmas and dads and people we went to high school with. Some people that were even in the movie. So it was still just me and him making all the decisions because nobody gave a fuck.
It's a bit like Raimi, isn't it? With Sam, with Evil Dead, with dentists and lawyers and friends and stuff like that.
That's a model we went after.
Right.
Paul's question sucks. Do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Cheers. There's two guys with beards. You with the black beard, go first.
What was it like to lie naked on some night needles?
That's a better question.
That is.
It was very cool.
It was actually, I'm not sure what the conversion is, but it was about like 10 degrees Fahrenheit that day.
So it's like 1 degree Celsius.
Yeah.
So you shriveled up into a small
Oh, I didn't even have it.
Actually, no, it was like negative 7 Celsius.
Yeah.
That's 32.
It was. And it had rained the night before. So there was this great sheet of ice underneath the entire forest. And then everybody on set was somebody I went to high school with. So, our other producer, the guy that helped us set it up at Rhode Island, tried to set up craft service about 5 feet from where I had to lay naked all day.
The entire time, Josh was like, "I hope you guys know it's really cold out." Yeah, we know, Josh. Calm down.
And I wasn't the first one to get naked, was it? It was like male nudity for a week and a half. Everybody was like,
"Everyone's like, what kind of movie are you making?"
But yeah, no.
You're a fine figure of a man.
That's a fine.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
I gave him the script in my other room. I was in a round setting up the movie. My other roommate texted me. He was like, "Why is Josh eating nothing but broccoli and grilled chicken? What's going on?"
Colin, you had a question.
Yes. I'm just wondering, obviously it's very difficult getting a feature film off and getting everything sorted out. The posters really helped you. I see that it won the awards. How do you just go about getting the posters sorted out?
You have to repeat the question.
So the poster, how did we go about getting the poster done? I wanted him to do the poster just because I knew there's no name actors in the movie, no name talent behind the camera. It's such a fucking ridiculously low budget movie. So I wanted, right from the get-go, it to be something that you saw the poster and that immediately drew you into the film. Like, what the fuck is this? So I wanted it to be hand painted, and I love Tom Hodges, who designs his artwork. So I literally just cold emailed him off this site when we first started editing. And we sent him like a 2-minute promo, and he was like, "I'd love to do it. I can't do it for another 4 months." And it's like, "Well, great, we just started editing, so that's perfect." And it literally just worked out. He had an open spot. And I sold all of my camera equipment to pay him, and we got the poster done. But the poster is the reason we got, like, you know, the guy, Colin Gies, who runs Midnight Mass Toronto, saw the poster and was like, what the fuck is this movie? And contacted us about seeing it. So the poster really opened up a lot of doors, and having like the poster and the trailer show people who literally had nobody behind the movie was like a ridiculously big help.
Also, if anybody's wondering what happened to the other guy that goes missing in the opening scene,
This is what happens to right here. I like that they cut it. But anyway, we were going to cut this, but we needed an additional 20 seconds to pass.
one more.
There was supposed to be a news sequence that was like, you know, they found the body of him, but the other guy who disappeared that night was still missing, and then we immediately cut to that. That way we kind of had a reason to know who he was. We unfortunately didn't have time or resources, and we were back in LA, so we couldn't shoot the news sequence. And so we're like, let's just cut that scene, but then, you know, our end credits were already so long, and it's like, well, we can just throw in this 3 seconds of the shot.
And that's actually the co-producer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked to him anyway.
Just say, I thought it was fantastic. Not at all what I was expecting after your introduction. It was much better. It's kind of a less po-faced extra. And we were saying, like, some of the influence, obviously, like Inseminoid extra and things like that. We were discussing about the lead actor earlier, that if we noticed, if you turned your head to the left, he looked like Tobey Maguire. If you turned your head slightly to the right, he looked like Daniel Radcliffe. And I wondered, was that actually meant so you can get kind of the comic fan geek audience and the young girls audience?
It certainly helps.
I actually think he looks like Kyle MacLachlan.
We were in Toronto, and Daniel Radcliffe had horns there, and there was at one point where Graham and Daniel were at the same party, like wearing the same outfit. It was kind of funny. I was trying to get a picture of both of them together, but Graham was wouldn't move from his corner. So.
I just wondered if it was subliminal casting, so you could get like twice the audience.
No, I knew Graham beforehand because he was in Reanimator the musical, and during Reanimator, everybody would bust his balls about how he looked like Daniel Radcliffe, and then when we went to the festival circuit, everybody's like, "You look like Daniel Radcliffe," and it just his blood pressure raised more and more with every festival we did.
How did you get the scream that the alien does? What noise was that?
It was a pig scream, slowed down and then doubled with about 6 or 7 other effects, and then just played absolutely in the red of the mix, like 8 times.
We did the sound design in our apartment, and like we live in a fucking huge apartment complex with walls like the size of cardboard. So we would be sound designing until 5 a.m. every night with fucking speakers blasted.
Bass, sound, music, everything.
Our neighbors were not happy.
Great movie, by the way. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Looking at the opening credit sequence, and certainly with some of the score, I can see it's a Carpenter influence. John Carpenter. Is he one of your influences?
Yeah, you know, some of it was definitely intentional, just because I fucking love so many Carpenter's movies, and then some of it actually comes across where it's just like, you know, I just directed the movie and it came across like that just because I've been such a fan of his. I mean, the opening credits is just something where it's like, whenever we make a movie, we're gonna do the Carpenter font, and then Neil Marshall started doing it, like, fuck it, we're still gonna do it. You know, it's just something that we wanted to just have, because I feel like your credits are something that puts you in the mood of the movie. So I just, you know, doing credits in Final Cut, doing credits on the computer, you know, such limited to make it look good, and we're just like, let's fuck it, let's go with the Alberta's font, we'll do the Carpenter font this one time, and you know, why not? We'll get it off our chest.
And then we attempted with Halloween 3. That whole scene was originally cut with the Halloween 3.
Yeah, the whole way. And then our composer goes, oh man, this sucks, I can do way better. And it's like, fuck you.
And then ended up aping Halloween 3 because we wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. So just do that. Just do that.
Apart from funding, what was the most challenging thing to get to make this movie? Was there anything that really you found
Since it was such... the most challenging thing about the movie, besides the funding, was the filming conditions, just because it was so cold. The equipment would freeze up, the equipment would fail, the effects would, like, when we covered him in slime or built a slime, it would fucking freeze like a glazed donut in like 10 seconds. So it was unbelievably impossible. And then if we had to redo an effect, it would be impossible to get it off the people just because it froze immediately. So the harsh conditions were probably the biggest challenge in doing the movie.
VHS marketing and like the old school posters and stuff, just trying to create a sense of like an 80s video nasty almost. At what stage in the process did you say you're actually going to literally set it in the 80s, and can you tell us some of the tricks you used to try to create a convincing sense of being in the 80s when you were filming?
Well, the number one reason I said it in the 80s was because I think technology is absolutely ruining horror movies. You know, there's no more creepy libraries where people look up information. There's no more, you know, cell phones ruin everything. So it's like, I use the example, if Pet Sematary was now, and fucking Louis Creed would go on Google and look at the history of his house, it would ruin the fucking movie. And the time that we shot in, that we grew up in, is frozen in time, so it was pretty easy to just set it in the 80s.
It literally still looks like that. So.
Yeah, we didn't really have any production design. That's just what it looks like. And I think that the whole 80s feel of the movie comes just from me, like, growing up watching those movies. And it wasn't even, I mean, you know, I knew that I wanted it all to be practical and stuff like that, so it wasn't something like, oh, I have to make this look exactly like an 80s movie. It was kind of just like, this is how I want to make this movie because, you know, it's, I don't know, it's just instinctual, I guess.
Someone in the back, you guys all have. You right there. With the beard, yes.
Is that cut real off in the film? And is there any particular scene you would like to check out?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Film?
Oh yeah, there was one scene in particular, we trimmed a ton of scenes, but there was one scene where he actually goes and talks to a psychiatrist that was fucking wretched. So we cut it out of the movie.
And we don't miss it, no.
Yeah, there were just a lot about it. But it was like a 3.5-minute scene, and it just was, dialogue's not my strong point. And the scene just did not add anything to the movie. So we cut it out, showed it to some people, and there was, you know, people responded to it much more. So that was the one scene we cut out, everything else we kind of just tightened and trimmed.
Josh, your character is a man of very little words. Was that always your intention when you were writing script up?
Well, actually, in the script, I had a lot more words. I'm just not much of an actor. So, on set, it was very awkward and hard to get into certain spaces. The only scene I'm particularly proud of is where I actually talked to her and walking towards her during the whole thing. Other than that, we literally went in and rearranged everything that I said, pulled a bunch of lines, you know, the Clint Eastwood approach of less is more. But I had a lot more things to say.
Yeah,
I still hate it when I say Jen and I'm running up the stairs.
that was actually one of my advice. I wanted to keep that in. You want to cut that out, but I think it worked.
Fucking director.
Yeah, love the film. Two questions really. How long did it take to shoot? And I'm a bit scared to ask, but what was that slime made out of?
It took 18 days to shoot. We shot 3 6-day weeks. And the slime was actually this stuff called super slime, which is what they used on Alien and Aliens. And our effects artist showed up the first day with the slime, and it looked clear. It wouldn't even show up on camera. So I'm like, look, it's going to look more gooey. Like, just fucking make it look like Alien. So then he adds a bunch of milk to it. It looks like cum. But he did it to all 20 gallons of it, so we couldn't afford to buy more. So that's kind of sort of like it.
With like your abduction scenes, did you actually want to show any more of that, or was it sort of just down to your budget you decided not to?
You know, I wanted to show more, but I wanted to do it in a flashback sense, like it is in there, black and white. I have like a fetish for really grainy, Super 8, 16mm black and white stuff, and that stuff we actually did not shoot until 3 months after production. We were temping in the fire in the sky scene. And we'd put it in black and white, and everybody would show the assembly cut to it. It was like, wow, that abduction stuff looks great. And it's like, well, it's from Fire in the Sky. So we actually just laid Josh on our dinner table and shot it in my apartment with Josh laying at the dinner table.
It's just a bunch of trash bags hanging in a room.
So, I mean, I would like to do more with it, but I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out based on, you know, the conditions that we had shooting it. The effects artist really fucked that up, so I thought it was going to look like shit, but Josh saved it, so...
we had to make a mold, and what happened was it was actually pure rubber. So Joe was actually the one that dropped the rock on it, and the first time we dropped the rock on it, it almost fucking bounced up and hit the face. And the face was there, it was completely fine, and it took us like, on one of our last days in Rhode Island, because we went back to LA to edit, we took it and went into a parking lot and just smashed that head for like an hour with a camera. And we actually ended up using the first take because what we did was we shot her screaming, and then there's only 3 frames where my Graham's arm gets comped in, and then it just cuts to the fake head, and we just cut right off of it.
We literally dropped the rock on it and it bounced off. And I'm like, what the, our effects guy's Rob Fitz. And I'm like, what the fuck, Rob? He's like, oh, well, I didn't know you wanted it to crush. I'm like, did you read the fucking script, dude? Like, what the fuck would a rock bounce off of a head in what situation?
So we just amped up the sound as much as we could and milked every last frame that we had, and then said, fuck, we'll just hit her twice. So. One more, and then we'll do the VHSs. You there in the middle.
So if you left it wide open for a sequel with that last scene, would you want another go?
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
Would you want another go?
Oh, I guess if my next movie does completely fucking horrible, I'll do and if I did, it would basically be Graham waking up in a morgue, or Seth waking up in a morgue with the creature inside of him. He shoots up in the morgue, and he infects all the bodies in the morgue, and it turns into an alien-style giant fucking cocoon. So it's like Halloween 2 meets Aliens, I guess. So, I don't know, maybe.
Almost 2.
Any more questions? I saw a couple more hands. Oh, but her first.
Thanks, yeah.
Hello, right there.
You, at the back.
You,
you, at the back. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
No. It's this guy.
Yeah, I love the film. Kind of one year, I love the Invasion of the Body Snatchers scene going through it. I'm just wondering if you'd be considering doing an crowdsourcing for your next film, and do you have any ideas of what your next film would be like?
I wrote a script for a telekinetic revenge movie, like a really brutal NC-17 Scanners meets Death Wish. I need a few $100,000 to do it, so looking for money now. Hopefully it works out. We'll see. So yeah, hopefully that works out. We'll see what happens. And if I can't get the money for that, and I'm stuck not making a movie, I guess I'll make one of those too. We'll see.
Almost human.
Yeah. Any more
One
questions?
more. Make it a good one.
You pick, Paul.
Should we go man in beard, or should we go one of those back?
I don't know. You say you.
There's 2 bearded ones. Look. Double-handed man.
Kind of a couple of Chris Parker kind of influences from X-Files. There's a few scenes that remind me of the pilot from X-Files. Would you say that he was influenced, or?
I actually have not ever watched the X-Files. What? I know. I'm embarrassed. I watched it when I was younger, and out. Eventually, I'm just gonna watch them all front to back because they're on Netflix.
Don't watch the last season. That shit.
Robert?
It's true, isn't it?
Is that it?
No, you've got to answer it. X-Files. That's it.
But I haven't watched it.
Right. So, it's late in the day. So, how are we going to give away these 2 amazing videotapes?
So I want to start off. We've done about 15 screenings in the past month, and there's one question that I've asked that not one person has gotten in every single screening. So I want to see if one of you guys can get it. And it is name in order.
And no shouting.
Yeah, if you shout out, you choose.
You choose who goes up first.
Name
We're
in
going to pick
order.
3 of you, so that nobody shouts out and ruins it.
Every theatrical John Carpenter movie from 1976 to 1986. It's a 10-year period.
The best 10 years.
Somebody
hands up.
here has to know that. And if I see an iPhone, I'm not calling it.
You come up.
Well, just. You don't even know the first one. Why'd you raise your hand? Okay.
Halloween, The Fog, The Thing.
Nope, wrong. All right. Raise your hand. Up there. Nope. Who knows? Right there. Straight ahead. Yes.
Okay, Assault on PC-13, Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York.
You just completely.
Raise your hand if you don't know. Next. Right there.
Assault on PC-13, Halloween, The Fog. Sorry.
No, you're right.
Escape from New York, Thing, Christine, Snowman. Prince of Darkness. Yes.
No! It's close! That close. No, this guy's had his hand up. I wanted the striped shirt back there. You had your hand up. No.
They've already been said!
Sort of 13, Halloween, Skate from New York, Theme, Christine.
It's already been said! What? Nope. Come on, guys!
Somebody write it fucking down and read it.
Nobody? Yeah, but that's 74. Who got all the way up to Prince of Darkness? Who was that?
No, you got it. Yeah.
Make trouble Little China, then Prince of Darkness.
Yeah, you were. But who named all of them up to? Okay, come on. Okay. Every Carpenter theatrical movie from 87 to 98. Well done, son. Well done. Can everybody do that?
Oh, one.
Wait, Ian, who you pick up?
We got on the end, we've checked show.
87?
87 to 98.
So then it's the 11th. Main line with the Invisible Man. Body Bags.
That's not theatrical, but I'll take it.
Body Bags, possibly. Escape from LA?
No.
From Escape from LA. No, well, from Body Bags or something like that.
Okay. In the Mouth of Madness. Village of the Damned. Escape from LA. Vampire.
Okay, you got it.
You got it,
I don't know about that.
Well, let's hope, unless you let us down.
We really need word of mouth support, so if you liked it, please tell us. If you didn't, shut the fuck up.
Anything you want to say to the audience finally, before we say bye-bye?
I don't know, you have anything?
Nothing.
Scotland's awesome, I don't know.